Well, we are continuing to follow the unprecedented work stoppage of Canada's two largest rail systems. Both CN and CPKC workers have been locked out after negotiations deteriorated overnight. We've been looking into the essential goods that will not be delivered, but for a closer look at how commuters are affected, plus how far apart the Teamsters Union and the companies are in these negotiations, we've called on Barry Eidlin. He's professor of sociology at McGill University, and he specializes in labor movements. Good morning. First of all, were you surprised that we are in work stoppage this morning?
Good morning, Anne-Marie. I was not surprised given how far apart the parties are on the issues at stake. The core issues here that the Teamsters Union is talking about are issues of crew safety and fatigue, and that's related to scheduling issues, which the employer has not really done anything about. And we are now faced with a lockout scenario, and it's important for your viewers to understand that a lockout is something initiated by the employer as a means of pressuring the union to reach an agreement. So what we need to understand here is that the employer is saying that they would rather shut down their network and incur the massive economic costs for them and their customers and Canadian consumers rather than negotiate an agreement with the union.
You bring up a really interesting point. The government typically likes to let private companies do the business of private companies. And as you said, this is a lockout initiated by the employers. At what point, however, does the government need to get involved in something like this, especially when we're looking at $1 billion worth of goods a day, essential goods that just won't travel across the country?
Yeah, I think the federal government has taken the approach now that the best deals are negotiated at the bargaining table, and I think that that's an important insight. I think that the people who have expressed these concerns should be expressing these concerns about the economic damage to the companies. The companies are very profitable at the moment. They, can afford to, to improve working conditions, and we need to really focus on these issues of worker safety and fatigue because those are issues that affect the broader public, right? We need to, everybody can think of major rail disasters in recent years, and the investigations have shown repeatedly that crew fatigue is the big issue that underlies a lot of these accidents. So if we care about having a safe rail network, we need to address these issues that the union has been bringing up at the bargaining table.
Supply chain issues typically take a couple of days, maybe even a week, before people really start to feel it. But where they're feeling it right now, as of this morning, is commuters. For people who don't understand why commuter lines are affected, can you explain that for us briefly?
Yeah, so the rails are shared by freight and passenger operators, and some of the bargaining unit that is being locked out right now are the people who manage the tracks, and so they can't. If they're locked out, those tracks are shut down, and so the commuter rail cannot use those tracks that are shared between them and the freight. So that's what's going on there.
Your biggest concern, Barry, as you are watching with, oh, hi, there's your cat.
Yes. My research assistant.
Your research assistant? What's your research assistant's name?
Popper.
Popper. Well, listen, Popper might be very concerned, as is the rest of the country. What happens if this carries on for weeks, or do you even see this carrying on for weeks? Can it?
I mean, in theory, it could. I mean, what the resolution would be a negotiated agreement, given the stakes involved and the economic damage it's causing, it's unlikely. I think that, what we need to understand here is that this is a continuation of the negotiating process, right? So they didn't reach an agreement by the strike lockout deadline. The employers have locked them out, but negotiations continue. Right, and the Teamsters Union has remained, committed to staying at the negotiating table, and so there's still. So this is a continuation of the negotiating process in a different phase, of course, and so there's still time and there's still the ability to reach a negotiated settlement.
Barry Eidlin, I want to thank you for joining us. And please tell Popper, who's aptly named as he popped up on the screen, that we appreciate him joining us as well. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thanks.